Ari Rabinovich joins us now from the Business Center. Hello, Ari.
Hello, Cynthia.
Now we're getting a look at the bottom line for Netflix, and who doesn't want to watch Netflix and binge these days?
Well, actually, a lot more people, Cynthia. So that's
Really?
what we found out from the company. Yeah, subscriber growth continues to increase, but there's more to that. So I wouldn't get too excited if you're hoping for Netflix to keep maximizing this kind of growth over the long run. So what we found out from Netflix after trading ended today was that basically it beat on the top and bottom line. So that means it beat on the average analyst estimate for what it would report on revenue last quarter, profits, and also subscriber growth. So specifically, more than 5 million net new subscribers. That signifies if some people maybe cancel their subscription and come back. So the number of brand new people, just over 5 million, a little more than analysts were expecting. But to give you perspective, Cynthia, the same quarter last year, the increase was by almost 9 million net new subscribers. Right. So there's only so many people out there who are willing to sign up in the first place. So eventually it's going to peak, and that's already what seems to be happening. So subscriber growth is slowing down. That means analysts are going to be looking for other sources of revenue to keep them interested. So they're putting more pressure on advertising, gaming, and it said if you can't do that, you got to try to increase the prices for those subscription services.
No one wants to hear that.
No, I'm sorry to break that to you, but it might end up that way.
Okay. Or advertising again, right? Seeing commercials.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, we could soon be seeing a major change in the recreation vehicle industry, and these are brands that we're all very familiar with, Ari.
Yeah, very much so. And if you don't own one yourself, you're certainly familiar with the sounds. If you're at cottage country, perhaps, or in the wintertime, if you're in the woods and you hear the revving engines out there, well, that's the company behind Sea-Doos, Ski-Doos, and many other brands, BRP, a Canadian company. And it looks like they're going to be breaking up some of its brands, including here, Manitou pontoon boats, as well as Alumacraft fishing boats and others, as well as apparel and parts. Essentially, they're offloading all of their marine businesses, but the exception is Sea-Doo, because that's one of BRP's staples, Cynthia. So they're going to keep the Sea-Doo brand. Those other ones they're going to split off and sell. BRP says that they want to focus on what's known as the power sports offerings, so that again includes snowmobiles, all-terrain vehicles, Sea-Doos, and it says it's going to help them capitalize on growth opportunities in the future.
Interesting. Okay, now, if you ride the Via train, your trip could take a little bit longer depending on where you're heading. Ari, this makes no sense to me in this day and age that it's going to take you longer to take the train.
Well, far be it for me to explain engineering to you, Cynthia, because I also was very caught off guard by this. It's a little confusing for sure, because when we find out that Via Rail has new trains, you expect that, well, trips should take longer, if not be smoother, more consistent, more reliable. But it sounds like it's going to end up taking trips longer in the Montreal to Windsor corridor. And that's because, well, Via Rail doesn't actually own the tracks. Canadian National Railway does. And they said that with the new trains comes new restrictions over public crossings. These trains are going to have to slow down. And that means that some of those trips in the Montreal-Windsor corridor could see an increase of 30 minutes on average, Cynthia. And they said that Via Rail was caught off guard by this news. They actually had to adjust their schedules. Many passengers were disappointed by that, as you can imagine. And they said in order to increase speeds over those public crossings, they actually have to add more cars to the train sets. And whether or not they plan on doing that in the future is up to speculation at this point. Could be because there's maybe not much demand, that they don't really see the need to add more cars at this point.
All right, good to know. Thanks so very much. Always great to see you, Ari.
You as well, Cynthia.
See you tomorrow.